It was 3:07 in the morning when the pounding shook my entire apartment building in Boston's Back Bay neighborhood. The kind of relentless thud that vibrates through your bones, pulling you from the edge of sleep into pure terror. I fumbled for my phone on the nightstand, heart slamming against my ribs. But before I could dial 911, the door frame splintered like dry kindling, which shards flew inward. And there he stood, Victor Langford, the man who'd turned my childhood home into a cage of whispers and fear. His eyes were wild, bloodshot from whatever poison he'd drowned himself in that night, reeking of bourbon and unbridled fury. In seconds, he was on me, his fists mapping out 8 fresh bruises across my body, a roadmap of the hatred he'd bottled up for years. My mother hovered in the hallway shadows, her face a mask of tear-streaked resignation, murmuring, "You brought this on yourself." But they had no idea that this invasion would be the spark that ignited my long-simmering plan. One that would dismantle their twisted empire piece by agonizing piece. My name is Sophia Reed, and at 34, I run a nonprofit in Cambridge, Massachusetts, helping survivors of domestic abuse navigate the legal system and rebuild their lives. But 2 decades ago, I was just a scared 14-year-old in a quiet suburb of Worcester, watching my world unravel after my father's heart gave out from years of overwork as a mechanic. Before that, our modest ranch house was a haven of simple joys, Dad hoisting me up to reach the top shelf at the hardware store, Mom playfully scolding him while her eyes sparkled with affection. We were unbreakable, the 3 of us, tied together by backyard barbecues and late-night board games where laughter drowned out the world. When Dad passed, Mom and I held on tight, like 2 driftwood pieces in a storm. For 3 years, we pieced together a fragile normalcy, she pulling extra hours as a teacher, me mastering frozen pizzas and algebra on my own. We were clawing our way back to something resembling happiness. Then Victor slithered in. Mom met him at a school fundraiser. He was the polished real estate developer everyone admired, the guy who donated big to local charities and drove a sleek black Audi that turned heads in our working-class neighborhood. As CEO of Langford Properties, he exuded power, the kind that made people straighten their spines when he entered a room. He didn't bulldoze his way into our lives, no. He was cleverer than that. He played the long game, positioning himself as our savior. When I casually mentioned my love for painting during an awkward family dinner, a set of professional oils and canvases showed up on our porch the next day. Struggling with history class? He lined up a private tutor. No questions asked. He showed up at my soccer games, cheering louder than anyone, his presence making the other parents whisper about how lucky we were. He's like a dream stepdad, my best friend Mia gushed after he treated us to ice cream and arcade games in his fancy car. I wanted to buy into it, to chase the fairy tale reflected in Mom's hopeful gaze. 8 months in, he proposed at a scenic overlook on Cape Cod, the Atlantic waves crashing below as Mom whispered yes, tears of joy streaming down her face. I held the velvet box he'd entrusted to me, feeling for the first time like we might patch the hole Dad left behind. The wedding was tasteful, held at a charming inn in the Berkshires, with Victor's business associates toasting his perfect new family. Mom radiated in her lace gown, looking vibrant again, like grief had finally loosened its grip. When Victor raised his glass to my 2 incredible ladies, a warmth spread through me. Security, the kind I'd forgotten existed. But security, as I'd come to learn, is often the cruelest mirage, hiding quicksand beneath. Hindsight sharpens the warning signs that masqueraded as affection back then. The subtle clench of Victor's fist when Mom shared a light-hearted story with an old male colleague at a party. His uncanny memory for our daily routines, always texting to check in on where we were. The way he'd gently redirect conversations, planting seeds of doubt until Mom questioned her own judgment. Karen. Honey, you mentioned wanting to cut back on spending, he'd say smoothly when she talked about a weekend getaway with her sister. We agreed to tighten the belt. Right? Mom would furrow her brow. Nod uncertainly, trusting him more than her own recall. It was insidious. This erosion. So slow we didn't see the foundation crumbling until we were buried in the rubble. The shifts started small. Just a month after their Hawaiian honeymoon, Victor called a family meeting at the kitchen table. Spreadsheets laid out like courtroom exhibits. We need to streamline our finances, he declared, his voice laced with feigned concern. Separate accounts are outdated. Karen. We're one unit now, everything joint makes sense. Mom hesitated, her fingers drumming on her old checkbook from her first marriage. I've handled my own money since. Well, you know. Victor's expression softened strategically. But that's the past. Sweetheart. Don't you trust me to protect us? The question was a velvet trap. Impossible to deny without seeming ungrateful. By week's end, her salary funneled into his controlled account. He issued her a debit card for essentials, scrutinizing every receipt like a forensic accountant. Friends were next on his list. Victor had opinions on everyone in Mom's circle. Her fellow teacher Lisa was too nosy. Bound to stir up trouble, her knitting group, a bunch of idle gossips poisoning your mind, her sister Elaine, too demanding. Always calling at inconvenient times. I'm just looking out for you, he'd murmur, massaging Mom's tense shoulders after another friend faded away. You're so giving. People exploit that. One by one. Her lifeline snapped. Invites went unanswered. Lunches canceled. Soon, Victor was her everything confidant. Validator. Jailer. The control seeped into the mundane. Mom's cherished yoga classes became unsafe in that sketchy studio. A vibrant sundress she bought was too flashy for a respectable woman your age. What would my clients think? When she reached for his coffee mug too hastily one evening, his hand clamped her wrist hard enough to leave marks. Careful. Darling, he released her with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. We wouldn't want to chip the good china. The first real eruption hit 3 months later. Mom had picked up a gourmet cheese not on Victor's approved shopping list. I was hunched over biology homework when he found it in the fridge. What's this? He demanded, wielding it like contraband. I thought it'd be nice for a change, Mom stammered, her confidence already wilting. The store clerk recommended the glass bowl he'd been holding slipped, or was it dropped, shattering on the tile? Mom flinched, I froze, pencil hovering mid-equation. We talked about sticking to the budget, Victor said evenly, his calm more chilling than any shout. Every penny counts. But apparently, you disagree. He stepped through the shards, grinding them underfoot. Clean it up and return that tomorrow. Mom knelt instantly, sweeping fragments with bare hands. I moved to help, but his glare pinned me. Let your mother fix her mistake. Sophia, focus on your studies. That night, her sobs leaked through the thin walls, stifled but unmistakable. Come morning, she wore turtlenecks in the humid August air, and the cheese vanished. I learned to forecast his storms. A smooth day at the office meant civil dinner chatter. A rough one brought eggshell tension. Mom tiptoeing to avoid the landmines. Why stay? I whispered to her once during his business trip. She looked at me with eyes hollowed by defeat. It's not that simple. Soft. He provides stability. Loves us in his way. Relationships require compromise. But I saw the truth she buried. Isolation so complete. Dependence so absolute. Escape seemed a fantasy. He'd forged her chains with her own consent. And she couldn't or wouldn't see the key. By 16, home was a battlefield I evaded at all costs. Debate club, art classes, Volunteer shifts at the local shelter, anything to stretch the hours away from Victor's shadow. You're always out, Mom noted one rare evening I slipped in early. Victor eavesdropping from his home office. Building my resume for college, I lied smoothly. You always say education first. She opened her mouth to probe deeper. But Victor's pointed cough silenced her retreat to the dishes. Our bond frayed into scraps, notes on the fridge about warmed leftovers. Missed hugs in the rush of mornings. It stung. This betrayal. Her choosing him over the fragments of us left. The tipping point struck at 17. I'd lingered at Mia's for a group project. Returning to an unnaturally still house. Mom was in the bathroom, clumsily applying concealer to a blooming bruise under her eye. Mom? My backpack thudded down. She whirled, faking a grin. Hey, kiddo. How was Mia's? What happened to your face? Clumsy me banged into the cabinet door. Silly, right? But the angle. The shape, it screamed fingerprints. Not wood. Mom. Don't lie to me. Her facade cracked. Tears welling. But Victor's approaching footsteps rebuilt it. Dinner soon, wash up. That meal. I watched him slice his chicken with surgical precision while she picked at her plate, nodding to his monologue on property values. Karen says you've been hitting the books hard at the library, he pivoted to me. Studying. Yes. Good. Though family dinners build character too. He squeezed her hand. She winced subtly. Right. Dear. Absolutely, she echoed. Empty as an echo. After. As she loaded the dishwasher with Victor on a call. I cornered her. We can go pack now. Head to Aunt Elaine's. Her hands froze. Soft. No. He's hurting you, I know it. You don't get it. Then explain why you let him? She faced me. A flicker of her old fire surfacing. With what? He owns it all, the accounts. The house. My car. Leaving means starting from zero. Dragging you through hell. Tanking your future. She touched my cheek with soapy fingers. You're almost out, college-bound. I can endure a bit longer. I won't abandon you. You will. Get far. Build unbreakable walls. Promise. Rage and guilt warred in me. But her plea won. I promise, I whispered. The vow tasting like ash. From then, I channeled everything into escape. Straight A's became my rebellion. Scholarships my arsenal. I ceased saving her, focusing on self-preservation. Loathing the selfishness, but honoring her wish. Yet I chronicled it all, snapped photos of her hidden marks, logged incidents in an encrypted app on my phone. Timestamps etching the horror. Someday, I'd weaponize it. The Yale acceptance hit in April. Full ride. My ticket out. I wept in the school lot, clutching it like salvation. Showing Victor. He beamed performatively. Yale? Karen. Our girls' Ivy League material. His hug choked me with aftershave and agenda. Mom's tears mixed pride with loss. That summer blurred in packing and facades. Victor drove me to New Haven, lecturing on responsibility the whole way. Mom silent beside him. Campus buzzed with freedom, kids debating openly. No flinching at raised voices. Call Sundays, Victor ordered. Unloading boxes. Your mom frets. I nodded, already plotting excuses. Liberation hit like fresh air after suffocation. My roommate, Lena from Chicago, dragged me to poetry slams and midnight diners. I discovered I could argue without backlash, exist without vigilance. Social work found me in a freshman seminar on family dynamics, the professor dissecting abuse cycles like pages from my life. Fight or flight. Trauma bonds, it explained mom's stasis. Dr. Elena Torres, a guest lecturer on survivor advocacy, became my beacon. After I queried about specializing in abuse cases, she eyed me knowingly. Driven by experience? I nodded. The best advocates rise from ashes, but heal first. She mentored me, then therapized me, unpacking the guilt, the witness terror, the grief of a living loss. To fund extras, I juggled campus jobs, tutoring, barista shifts, note-taking for disabled students. Every cent built my secret fund. Independence my shield. Friends knew a sanitized me, Sophia from Mass. Ambitious psych major. Boyfriend Alex assumed my home aversion was boredom, suggesting a holiday meetup ended us. I couldn't risk exposure. Sunday calls dwindled. Victor's rants lost fight over distance. Mom's scripted chatter hid codes. I asked about band hobbies. Her deflections signaling tighter reins. Grad year. I dove into abuse law. Shelters. Thesis on coercive control earning accolades. Dr. Torres post-defense. You'll change lives, but can't force salvation. Mom lingered in my thoughts. Still imprisoned. Post-grad. I launched my nonprofit in Cambridge. Untouchable by Victor. My cozy loft was mine. Everyday core choice defiance. Bi-weekly video calls followed a rote script. Victor lurking off frame. Mom prattled about phantom hobbies. I read her subtext. A November call revealed a neck bruise like choking marks. Mom. Your neck. Clumsy door jam. But shapes betrayed hands. Sleepless. I cross-referenced my logs. Escalation evident. I compiled resources, shelters. Pro bono lawyers. Financial aid for escapees. Mailed disguised pamphlets and greeting cards. This wellness retreat looks great. Hid hotline info. Budget tips inside. Veiled account recovery guides. Another call showed a concealed shiner. Ladder mishap. Impatient me. Victor chuckled off screen. Always accident prone. I ached to shatter the screen. Yank her free. Documented it all. Screenshots. Timestamps. Tapped grad contacts. Hypotheticals on evidence gathering. Interstate laws from a prosecutor's spouse. January's unscheduled call shattered the facade. Mom whispered, soft. I found a shelter. Saved scraps from errands. I might door slam. Who? Victor boomed. Just Sophia, job ref. Line dead. My retries hit Victor. She's resting. Stick to schedule. Let me talk, careful. Accusations could tarnish Yale's star or your nonprofit. Threat exposed his fear. Next call. Mom's scarf hid marks. Babbling about Victor-approved clubs. Eyes flicking to a calendar. Stressing mid-February oddly, a signal. I prepped. Alerted Boston shelters. Researched protection orders. Stashed a burner phone in a train locker. Key mailed in an innocuous card. Then Anna Lane called. Karen begged me to fetch her line cut. Heading over. No, call cops. They need proof. Mom's line beeped. I switched. Interesting mail today, Victor seethed. Pamphlets and cards. Poisoning her mind. Stops now. 6 days of radio silence felt like a storm. Awake at 3:07. Pounding erupted. Through the peephole, Victor. Unhinged. Mom cowering behind. Open. Sophia. You ruined her. Neighbor's dog barked. I yelled for police. His kicks breached the door. Chain snapping. Bourbon stench hit as he lunged. We were fine, you destroyed us. Mom entered. Face battered, swollen eye. Split lip. She tried leaving, stole money. Your fault. Because you beat her. His grip twisted my arm. Phone dropping, shoves slammed me into wall. Shoulders screaming. Coffee table edge gashed my hip, kicks rained ribs. Back. Thigh. 8 bruises. Calculated agony. Sirens wailed, neighbor called. Not over, he spat. Mom knelt, sorry. Baby, I tried. She deserved it, he sneered. Composing himself. Police burst in. My SOS recorded it all. As they cuffed him. Mom's statement strengthened. Paramedics cataloged my wounds. I knew this was war's dawn. The ER fluorescence buzzed as I counted ceiling panels, 289. Thrice over, awaiting x-rays, cracked ribs, sprained shoulder. 8 bruises like war wounds. My partner, Jordan, rushed in from his tech job. Face ashen. Soft. What? Stepdad. Mom tried leaving. He'd heard fragments of my past. Seeing it etched in purple horrified him. Mom refused care until I stabilized. Looking decades older. MS. Langford, Jordan urged. Reed, she corrected firmly. I'm reclaiming Reed. Detective Maria Lopez arrived. Seasoned eyes assessing. Phone audio's damning. Neighbor corroborates. First assault on you. Yes. On Mom? No, journals. Photos back years. I handed over the archive. Mom absorbed how much I'd borne alone. Financial theft too, she added. Drained my retirement. Cards in my name, found papers packing. Lopez nodded. Federal territory now. With lawyer pal Rachel from Yale. Specializing in abuse. We fortified our case. Victor's errors, interstate assault, feds, paper trail fraud, attacking an expert. But I craved annihilation. Investigative reporter contact on corporate misconduct. Rachel perked. For women from Victor's firm had messaged me anonymously, harassment victims. Elena Vasquez, denied Ray's post-rejection. Carla Jimenez, vanished HR complaint. Nina Patel, career threats for refusing favors. Rachel, pattern bank liable if complicit. Mom, found buried settlement, relocated him. We assembled. Journalist Alex Rivera interviewed. Feds traced kickbacks. Offshore hides. Victor's ex-wife. Unseen before. Surfaced post-news leak. Same playbook 18 years ago. Police reports dismissed as crazy ex testify. Absolutely. Mom and I shared pizza pre-hearing. Her form solidifying. Should have left. You did when ready, that counts. He'll fight. Facing storm. Charges. Suit stripping everything. Morning news. Firm axed him. Probing cover-ups. Courtroom brimmed for unraveling. Victor. Custody worn. Faced our united front me. Mom. The women. Media frenzy poster Vera's viral expose. Prosecutor Lena Hayes dismantled my injuries. Audio, she deserved it. Fraud tallying $950,000. Positioned as guardian while trapping her. Ex-wife's tapes echoed past sins. Workplace testimonies sealed it, emails. Recordings. Defense floundered on distress, pattern too deliberate. Guilty, assault. Fraud. Embezzlement, 20-year min. 35 total. Civil suit ravaged, damages. Bills. Lost earnings. Firm settled huge. Sealed but life rebuilding. Assets seized. House reverted to Mom. More victims emerged, licenses revoked. Clubs shunned a reputation dust. Sentencing, 40 years. Parole at 82. Judge, you wielded power as weapon against trusters. Victims rose, you fell. His parting glare, not over. But it was hollow. Outside. Survivors encircled us in sunlight. Now, Mom asked. We thrive. Reporter queried, message to others? Record all. Build networks. Leaving's perilous. Staying lethal. Silence empowers abusers. Voice destroys them. We walked free. Scars lingering, but shadows gone. He'd taken years. We'd claimed his everything. 8 bruises faded. His ruin endured.